All right, testing. We are now live. Hi, I am Kira858, and today we're we're doing episode 7 of It's Our World. I'm here with, of course, my group of friends here. And here at the community, at the cookout, we always like to give love and support and shout outs to different individuals. So perhaps you could take a look at their channel here on Twitch or on YouTube, give them some support on their projects. And like I said, just support them going forward. Oh, wait. Did something happen with the window box? Uh-oh. Give me just 1 second. Looks like one of the players may have signed out. Serena has. Give me. They should be joining in relatively soon. I guess they had to step away for a quick moment. Maybe had internet issues, but nevertheless, we'll, of course, we'd like to, of course, start with our shout outs. First, it would be B. Dave Walters. B. Dave Walters, for those who don't know, he is a fantastic individual who does quite a bit of TTRPG content. He does DMs for different sections. He DMs for different sections. He also plays for quite a bit of games. You see him on D&D channel. You also see him on many different areas. I actually signed in on his Patreon and played on his Vampire the Masquerade server for at least 3 or 4 months or so. He's a great individual overall. He had a new project that just came out talking about, talking about race relations and such. That was very important. And like I said, they're just great people overall. So if you can, follow him on Twitter, on Twitch, as well as support his content on D&D and so forth. Like I said, they're great people overall. The second person we like to give a shout out for is my apologies. Melee Damage. Melee Damage is a good friend of mine as well. I've been with her. Where I actually joined B Day's server. I actually played with her for a bit. She also has. Oh, there we go. Um, she also had different content in place. Has Vampire the Masquerade on the TTRPG channel Q Times. Um, she also has. She's also a D&D streams. Quite a few other content. She just released a song on Spotify called Mothership, which is absolutely fantastic. Definitely go ahead and take a look. And she also is getting back on her Patreon. So if you want to sign in on her Patreon, support her on her endeavors, and be able to enjoy TTRPG live sessions with her, you could do so. So a Melee Damage, if you can, give her some support. And the last person we like to give support for is a new TTRPG channel called Initial Roll. A good friend of ours named Ursa. He's a member of that TTRPG channel. They just recently started not too long ago, and they already have great chemistry in that group. They're great people overall. Ursa's character is absolutely fantastic. And they just recently hit the 50 or 51 follower hit, so they should be reaching affiliate relatively soon. So, like I said, for one, we would definitely like to give them congrats on that. And two, if you want to see great D&D content, definitely go ahead and check out Initial Roll because they deserve all the recent foundings and followers and subscribers that they're beginning. So with that said, we're just going to go on break for just a quick second so we can switch our video around real quick. And then we'll be right back and we'll, of course, introduce the cast, talk about our projects and such, and go forward from there. So give me just 1 second. Okay, so apologies about that. We're now back. Unfortunately, one of the players ran into internet issues, but we're all good to go. So with that said, we'll start off with introducing the cast. We'll start with Wanderer Tex, aka Aaron. If you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your social medias, and any projects that you have in place.
Hi, my name is Aaron or Wonder Tex on Twitter and Discord, and I have no projects. I'm exhausted and full of academia life right now. So my project is getting to the next D&D session for one of the 5 games that I'm in.
Fantastic. Next, we'll go ahead and introduce Ree. Ree, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your social medias, any projects you have coming up.
Sure. Hello, I'm Ree. You can find me on Twitter at Big Dude Ree, which is going under some changes to make it look a little better. I don't have any upcoming projects, but that might change soon, so keep your eye out.
Fantastic. All right, and now we'll work our way down to the bottom. We'll start with Mizzy. Mizzy, you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your social medias in place, any projects you have coming up.
Hi everybody, my name is Mimsy or Morgan, whichever you prefer. I do have a project in the works. Currently working on the logo for a friend's Etsy shop and trying to get that all set up. So yeah, that's all I got.
Fantastic. Next, we'll go with our DM, Fell Flames. Fell Flames, like to talk a little bit about yourself, and then plug your social medias, any projects you have coming up.
Sure. I am Zach or Felled Flames. I will post it in chat. I have a link tree now that links to a couple of my different things because I have finally committed myself to actually starting to post my writing online. So my first short story is now up on Wattpad about a mage character that I made and based off of that original character. So I will post that in chat, and that is what I am working on lately.
Fantastic. When you said mage, you're talking about Vampire the Masquerade World of Darkness mage?
Yeah, it's not like based in the world of darkness per se. It's just the inspiration for that particular character comes from a mage character that I made. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
lastly,
any copyright locations?
do we have any Ubers or any names in there, YouTube or something else that may prevent copyright issues?
Probably not. In the story, no.
No. And lastly, we'll go with Achilles. Achilles, if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, any projects you have, and your social medias. It's Zach. I'll message you via Discord or something.
Hey guys, I'm Adrian, and you can find me on Twitter at the Bear Pen. That's pen with an H. I've changed it up recently because soon I'll be getting into doing a bit of my own streaming and a bit of my own YouTubing stuff. So check that space for updates. And yeah, what am I working on right now? Busy on a book project that hopefully I can talk about soon. And what else am I doing? Oh yes, I'm actually also currently recording an audiobook, and I'm going to be working on a project on that for the channel as well that I'm setting up, so that I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah.
Awesome. Is the book that you're working on and the audio book the same thing, or are there two separate projects?
They are separate projects.
Oh, okay. All right, awesome. Well, like I said, once with those books and such are available, just let us know, and we'll definitely post it in chat for people to take a look. And as for myself, I am Kira858. Of course, I work here on do here on Twitch. You have my social medias, Kira619858. Of course, if you'd like to join us on our Discord, like I said, we actually have like watch parties where we watch My Hero Academia every Saturday. We actually will be watching a Goofy movie next Sunday, which will be a lot of fun because some of the individuals have not seen a Goofy movie before. I was like, how have you missed out on the greatest Disney movie of all time. And so, well, I would say, what about top five? Definitely my top five. For me, I would say it would be probably number two. But nevertheless, yeah, we have, of course, watch parties there. You can talk about things that are happening in the campaign. We have a non-spoiler as well as spoiler section. Fan art, of course, we like to post fan art regarding the characters and any questions you have regarding the campaign. You can just join our Discord below. It's completely for free. You don't have to be a subscriber, and then we look forward to see you there. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and bring you the intro video for episode 7 of It's Our World. All right, and we are now back, and we will start off with episode 7. So with that said, Fell Flames, take it away.
So last we had left off, Elia, the daughter of Celia Murner, had just placed her hand upon a tree, and you watched as some of the roots retracted themselves, revealing a small doorway that some of the taller amongst you would have to duck under to reach through, but seemingly leading inside of the tree.
And then God
would you like
disappeared.
to do?
God had a service outage.
That did occur, but we're back now, and it's probably going to be fun.
I think it's gonna be great.
Most likely.
I don't go inside, right? I don't go inside. Like, is she standing there like after you, or is she heading in first?
They walk inside. Yeah.
Okay, then I just follow.
So Achilles will take a few steps and be like, we don't need to leave them alone for... All right, I'll just go inside.
Ikara takes one last look off into the distance, just to fully absorb the scene of what he saw before. And there's like a deep breath before he makes his way into the tree.
Is this magic, or is there normally trees on your continent that do this?
Oh, it's a bit of nature magic.
You are very surprising.
I would like to suggest that Ikara's beehive is stashed in a non-eye line of sight from a possible druid who just showed up.
Serena just kind of like shimmies over. It's not visible.
All you hear in the background is...
Like a bee just comes out behind them.
I
Hear lots of
think,
fake coughs to be like, oh no, that's just the throat. It's
I think that given the situation, you will have a difficult time hiding it from them entirely.
I cast thaumaturgy so it doesn't sound like bees.
That is not how thaumaturgy
No.
But you know what? Very good. Good try. Very good try.
So, what is this place?
As you walk inside, and slowly collect yourselves together at the entryway. Um, it looks like it's about a 30-foot radius down slanted hideaway that starts with the tree roots. It's kind of dug into the ground a little bit because it can be hard to find a 30-foot radial tree. But the tree is the entrance and it leads down into this small underground area. It looks like you're not entirely sure what's supporting everything because it looks like there's nothing but dirt around you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just this little underground natural bunker.
Is there any like supplies or provisions already there? Like, does it have like a kitchen and that kind of thing, or is it literally just like a hideaway hole?
It does not have a kitchen. You do see where it appears that they were possibly having a small fire. But aside from that, you mostly see a couple of barrels. They could be storing things, but no obvious signs of like cookware or kitchen equipment of any kind. There are 2 straw pallets that are in the room, as well as a pile of bedrolls in one of the corners.
Achilles will look to Harry, and he will sort of like put a hand on his shoulder and say to him, "Harry, do you mind if I have a little chat with you quickly?"
He kind of does like a little bit of a double take, but then he says, "Oh, yeah, of course. Where did you have in mind?"
Well, I don't know. Can we go outside quickly? I just want to have a few words with you.
Sure. And he'll start making his way towards the door.
Okay. So we go outside, and Achilles will say to Harry for a minute, "Look, I'm not meaning to pry and such into your business, but obviously you and your father have quite proven yourselves in terms of what you were stating before, your, martial prowess and the like. But I get the feeling with that dragon showing up and with everything going on with Daniel and Elia and such, that there's more going on that we might need a bit of information about, like."
Yeah, I think now that things aren't quite moving so quickly, we maybe need a little bit more of a sit down style conversation at this point, especially because I think that you and your friends here all have some choices in front of you. And
I
I
would agree.
appreciate you saying so about my martial prowess because, believe it or not, I'm not too used to fighting against men.
That sounds like an interesting story in itself. What would you usually be hunting then?
Roll like a persuasion check. Are you
Okay.
trained in that at all?
Yes, I believe I am.
Yeah. It's kind of like a vibe check, a general trustworthiness of how you're presenting yourself in the conversation thus far.
I'm not skilled in it, but I do have a +1. Dirty 20.
Wow, very good. He says, typically, both my father and I are fighting against ghosts.
Ghosts, like, don't say. I can't say I've ever seen a ghost. What is that like? I mean, how do you hit a ghost?
Specialized weapons, mostly.
I mean,
Some skills passed down through special channels, you might call it.
All right. I'm reading you. That's pretty cool. Gosh, I'm really interested to learn about that. Like, is this the type of thing that? So it's passed down mostly through your family. Like, you guys don't end up recruiting outside of your family, or are there more of you that do this kind of job?
A few different families. Yeah. Most of them come from Bastion. There are a few that come from abroad. It's a rather tight-knit community for reasons that you can probably imagine. But there are other families with these skills passed down.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that. I always appreciate honesty between comrades, and and he gives him like a little friendly punch in the shoulder. And I'm glad certain things seem to be progressing in the right direction as well. I'm quite happy to see that.
He lets out a little bit of a chuckle, just kind of like, right. And no problem. I sort of feel as though I can be honest with you, or as honest as one person can be with another. I mean, a lot of people working at an apple orchard. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people, but you and your friend seem like some of the most overall good-natured people that I've met in quite some time. And then he pauses for a moment and he says, that perhaps for Miss Elia.
See. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, I'd say the same. I got a good general feeling about you the moment I met you. I thought you were a strapping young lad, like I said, and it's good to see things are heading in a positive direction. Well, I mean, shall we rejoin the others then? Have a little chat.
That depends. Were you planning to discuss your options amongst all of your group? And you see kind of glances through the inside, basically like actually go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Is it 2?
At something. You're really not sure what.
Yeah, Catherine is focused on his face. It's not looking at you. All right. Well, for sure. I think.
Do you remember his original question? Sorry,
I do.
I distracted you a bit. Yeah.
No. I remember his original question. I think so. Yeah. I don't believe we have anything to hide, and to be honest, up until maybe a day or so ago, I guess I was kind of more or less just following the fellas there. But now I feel like I have much more of a vested interest in what goes on with this group. So yeah, I don't generally believe in keeping secrets if we don't have to.
Even from like, and he kind of like puts his hand down to like about 3 feet above the ground.
Well, I would like to treat the lad like I treat my own brother, which is a good bit of advice followed by generous amounts of teasing and a great bit of love. So yeah, I would say he's a very, very wise lad. He can definitely handle conversation and handle it himself well.
All right. Well, far be it from me to disagree with you. Suit yourself.
All right.
And then he's gonna kind of like gesture a little bit, like sidling over a little bit back towards the doorway.
All right. We will follow back inside.
All right. You see, they all return.
So, quick housekeeping question: when we enter, is it that like the door itself is an illusion but remains open, so that we can leave in and out anytime we want, or does it have to be open for us and does it close behind us?
It was opened for you. It was not an illusion from what you can tell, but it did not like close up behind you.
So, do we have any idea on what we're going to do next?
Wait, so
I
what?
was wondering. Oh, sorry, Akara, go ahead.
I'm just confused because I don't know what's going on. Does anyone know what's going on?
It is a very confusing time. Harry, I wanted to ask you, do you know when we should expect your father?
I don't. Who knows how far he rode off into the distance. I expect he'll meet us here if he can.
Okay.
Would you like to wait for him?
Well, a while perhaps. While we're waiting, we can discuss our options. I know I, for
Right.
one, would like to see Lady Celia and Daniel and Elia all united in safety. So I think that would be a priority for me personally.
It is so for me as well.
We were just having a little convo outside about missing pieces as well, I guess. And Akara, I do think we're missing a couple of things. I mean, Daniel doesn't this seem like a bit much of a large reaction for just being related to you overhearing a potential kidnapping?
I guess that depends on who's being kidnapped.
I feel like there's more to that story.
I can't say. I don't really know exactly who. It was a name, a very strange name.
If I understand correctly, you said that Lord Mardinald was involved in the kidnapping. Is that correct?
It certainly seemed that way. He was like presenting himself as a co-belligerent of sorts, certainly.
Given Serena's, I guess, knowledge and her history, would she know of any of the I forgot his name already. Would she know of any of like his alliances or anything like that?
He is one of the Archons. There are 9 of them who work for one of the High Lords of the city. Her name is Laria Fortmanner. Her and all of the Archons tend to be practitioners of magic to some degree. So all of the Archons report to her. She is the High Lord of Magic, if I did not mention that. There are 3, one for business and economy, one for magic, and one for the military.
Daniel.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know that we've actually asked you this yet. Have you ever heard the name Celebi before?
Yes. That's who they were talking about. It was something like a pet name. I knew it was. But Sully Abby Sebaby, something like that.
They
Certainly.
took Celebi?
You know of this dog?
No, she's not a dog. She's a dragon.
Why?
She's
A
my
dragon?
She's my cousin.
Dear gods, why would anyone kidnap a dragon?
Why did you think it was a dog?
But I don't. It sort of sounds like a pet name, doesn't it?
You really think you could stab overhearing a kidnapping of a dog?
I suppose it depends on the dog.
I don't understand this land. When did dog get such high priority here? This place is strange.
Some of them are quite expensive.
What else did they say? Exactly.
I mean,
He's looking at you right now, Achilles. Because he said, I mean.
he said, have you never had a treasured pet there, Ikara?
Why would it kill somebody over a kidnap? Why would somebody kidnap? No, I never seen that before. But they took my cousin. Why would they take my cousin?
That's a good and important question. Daniel, I think it would go a long way if you could help us find more information about this.
I've told you, I've no ungodly idea why anyone would try to kidnap a dragon.
I think what this means is we need to find out more about your cousin Celebi and what she was really doing here.
And Lord Mardinald, and what he would possibly need with a person.
Do you know the
Why would he be
dragon?
involved?
Do you know the dragon that attacked us or attacked the key? Archer.
Who are you directing the question at? There are several NPCs in the room currently.
That would be towards all of them. Anybody who may have an answer, because they all live in the house. He's presuming, so he's assuming that perhaps one of them may have an answer to it.
I'm just imagining a car with giant puppy dog eyes just staring at the group.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what's up.
Give me answers, somebody.
Somebody.
They're all kind of looking at each other, blank looks on their face, and like shrugging slightly. And finally, Harry speaks up and he says, I'm certain that none of us expected a dragon to attack the orchard. That's the sort of thing that you come up with a plan for when it happens, not just in case, because it's rather unanticipated.
And Harry, just to be sure, do you think that there is a chance that this is somehow sideways involved with your family as well?
It's possible.
Oh wait. What?
Yes, Hikara?
I was just thinking, oh, what if that dragon knows Celebi and was attacking the orchard because they threatened Celebi and say they would have to kill you in order to keep Celebi safe.
I suppose that's possible.
I have a random supposition. These are just a few threads that I want to put out there, and obviously this is going to take a lot more research and speaking to people to sort of suss out whether or not my suppositions might be correct here. We'd heard that some of the dragon riders had died recently, correct? That was Valerio and Valerie.
Yeah, the twins.
But their dragons survived.
So I've been told.
So, do you think maybe that these dragons that are bonded to the dragon riders aren't necessarily done so voluntarily? Do you think maybe they found out that your cousin is a dragon and had kidnapped her because they're trying to expand their ranks.
You can see Harry and Daniel are both kind of just like stroking their beard, scratching their head, and Elia actually speaks up and she said, "You know, I've always wondered about that, actually, but it's one of those things that they never really talk about in the heroic stories of the tales of dragon riders and their dragons. No one really discusses how it may have come to be."
Is Nuvian and Nikara as well, you would have a lot more experience with this. This isn't, I mean, at least where you're from, this isn't typical dragon behavior. Like,
No, we don't have dragon riders. We dragons are our own beings. We wouldn't have somebody ride on top of us. We're not mounts. We're people.
I'm concerned that their target was another dragon today. Or at least they were under the impression that they were going to be facing another dragon today.
I think it is also entirely possible that if it is a mutually consenting bond between two people for this dragon rider relationship, that the death of their dragon riders could leave them with significant grief, kind of grief that could drive someone to attack without further thought.
Yes. Did we know what color the dragons were for the twins that did die?
they said they were bronze, I believe, correct?
The only
That's
one I've
right.
written down is that the one that's left is gold.
And there's two.
There's two that are left.
Yeah, there's two left. One gold and one silver. The silver is ancient. I can't remember if the gold was ancient though.
The gold is
Ancient as well.
no, he's an adult.
Adult. There we go. Thank you. Let me put that in the notes.
So it's not really possible that that dragon that did attack was part of the dragon riders.
No, he was young, like Celebi age.
I believe if there is some kind of process that is maybe, it's potential that dragons on this continent are different from dragons on your continent, but Celebi being from where you are, maybe they were trying this process and perhaps it had some kind of untold effect on her, if that was your cousin that we saw today. Because, I mean, as you mentioned, this is not typical silver dragon behavior to be acting like that.
No, that's more like white dragons. I don't know what. It was confusing. I tried every way possible to talk to them, and they wouldn't talk back.
Sorry, Ikara and Nubia, would you recognize Celebi on sight in dragon form or in more humanoid form?
I'm presuming our auntie would have gave us a physical description of what our cousin looks like, right? At least her humanoid form.
In humanoid form, it would probably be a bit easier to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
They like dragons tend to have a very sort of like regal appearance, even in their humanoid forms.
Mm-hmm.
Identifying a dragon, especially one flying around at high speeds in their dragon form, is like a particularly tricky thing.
Mm-hmm.
And any like descriptions would be hard. Personality probably would have been described to you. That's like a very those are still very distinctive from dragon to dragon. They have very distinctive personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely not the personality described to you that you encountered.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to recognize her key since I imagine Nubian's old enough to have seen her at least once?
She was not born in Trefaria.
There's no like family reunions for dragons.
I know the cookout,
Bruh.
fam. The
Dragon
cookout. I know they would have came in. Yeah, they would have came in with the shirts. You know what I mean? Like I got the soda. Let me get my Mountain Dew over here. Sorry. Let me stop.
But she's like super young in dragon years.
Mm-hmm.
The family reunion isn't for like another 20, 30 years.
Yep. Minimum.
She's gonna be flying at the kids' table when she shows up.
Yep. That's where I'll be sitting at.
Now I'm picturing just Akara, dragon, tiny table in between.
Yep.
Small little teacups.
I mean, I think that these are all really important thoughts about Celebi. I mean, it does give us quite a bit of information. You know that it is connected with your troubles, Daniel and Elia. Was there anything else that you wanted to discuss about your situation before we kind of start to make plans for the future?
About their situation.
Yes. The way you asked that makes me want to say no, though. But yes.
You can't go back.
I'm trying to clarify what you're getting at. Could you try running it by me again?
Yeah. Okay. So the question was, I connected Celebi with Daniel, so that explains their connection with Henry and Harold. So I'm asking each of them, as a group, if they have further information before we start deciding what to do next. About what they...
I don't have any further information about the dragon. There is one other thing that I should probably mention. This is Harry speaking, and he says, we should... It's a bit strange. I wasn't entirely sure that it would be necessary, but I know a man who's been working on building up a bit of what you might call a resistance, as it were, for a little while. It didn't seem necessary until dragons started attacking my home. Now I'm sort of in the same place that you all are, I think, that there has to be something else going on here.
A resistance to dragons? Or a resistance to...
No,
other
to
powers?
Bastion and the Illwind armies from the Martial High Lord themselves.
Right, so having my brother trained there is definitely out of the question. That's good to know.
The man who has been organizing this resistance, I believe his name's Commander Huntsberry.
Have any of us heard that name?
Commander Bertrand Huntsberry, aka the commander who was absent from the crossroads the last time you were there.
Ah, okay, we have heard that name.
Wait a minute. No, he was on a trip for like, what, 2 weeks, and then he didn't come back?
Yeah. Well, we may have heard that name before, and we might know a captain who might be...
Marigold Forerunner. I had to go look up his name.
Yes, we might know a captain who might be connected to him. I'm wondering now if he's part of this resistance.
I was going to ask the DM the same question because I knew Captain Moore.
I will tell you the same thing that Harry is going to tell you, which is that's interesting. I suppose that's something we ought to ask Mr. Margerold if we ever run into him.
Just to
Well-
clarify, there's a Captain Margerold and there's a High Lord Mardinold.
When you have a lot of characters, there's only so much room you have.
I
I
was like,
feel
maybe
you.
just the last names for
I
both of them.
feel you.
Captain
I-
Forerunner and Captain
I
Margerold.
The whole
feel
naming scheme just fell apart right there.
feel you so much, Zach. I 100% understand.
Why doesn't everyone's name start with a different letter? Well, I don't know, because there's 75 characters and only 20 letters.
We just keep skipping all of the characters that start with X. Someday.
Look, the X-named characters are very underrated and underappreciated. Fact.
Okay.
Good time.
Well, that definitely piqued my interest. I will. Sorry, this is me speaking out of character. I guess we could speak in character. That is incredibly interesting. I would be very interested to follow up with Captain Forerunner.
So
The reason why I met the rest of you.
again, then we have two potential options here, or well, more than two, obviously. But I mean, we do have those options again that I mentioned before. I think getting Lady Celia out first is our priority. But then, if we were to be heading back to Captain Marginal, then we could potentially stop by my family's place and deliver the potential news that I don't know if my father's dead or not. But then that's a whole other thing. The city that would be next might not be Ma, it would be one of the free cities to the east.
I think you're right. If we're going back to Bastion to pick up Lady Celia, it would make more sense, in my opinion, for all of us to continue traveling east with Lord and Lady Myrna.
Yes, I agree as well.
It may
I
be
mean-
time for us to go into Duranga now as well.
This was my next thought as well, because he spends time around those dragons. He might know if what's going on there is consensual or not.
So I guess our decision is what do we prioritize first? Getting our Daniel and his family out, or figuring out what happened to Celebi?
We
I
could,
I
we
mean, I
could do
think that
both.
they're intertwined, yes.
We're
But
close.
which one should we focus first on?
I think in this case, as loath as I am to say it, having two parties might be a fast situation, because I believe speaking to Duranga is highly useful. I know how fast both you and your brother are, Nubian. And I know the rest of us are not as fast. Perhaps three of us go try and collect Lady Celia, and you two and perhaps Harry can head towards Duranga. I know, again, this is, potentially we killed all the people who saw our faces, so they, we are not, unless of course they have been scrying on us, which is possible, but assuming they haven't been scrying on us, we at least are not persona non grata within Bastion at the moment.
Well, there was the dragon, but it's okay. I'm a dragon too, so if they try to go after me, I'll beat them up.
If Duranga is in Bastion, And we're going to Bastion to get Lady Celia anyway. I'm not entirely certain we need to split up, unless you're saying you want to get Lady Celia out of the city as fast as possible.
That was my thought.
So you would let them have a conversation while we are moving with Lord and Lady Myrna, and then they will catch up to us?
I think so, and we could rendezvous back at the crossroads.
I mean, it's something we can definitely consider.
We don't have to split up like this, just a thought.
Yeah, because no offense, you all are very nice and all, but I can't leave my cousin alone. So I have to talk to Duraga, because he's like me. He's even like a monk like me.
Achilles will go down to, like, as you would when you're wanting to let a child know that, hey, I'm on your level here and I'm speaking to you, like teachers do all the time. And you put a hand on the car's shoulder and you'd say, lad, nothing is more important than family. And if you want us to come with you, we can go there first.
You would?
That's what we're all talking about now, lad.
Oh, I thought we were splitting up.
Oh no, this is just decisions for trying to be speedy, but I value togetherness probably more than most things, but I also have a fair amount of logic running around in my head for efficiency. But I don't want to leave either of you alone, and I would not want to see your cousin suffering.
He nods. He's definitely staring into your eyes, like absorbing everything that you're saying. And then he gives a definitely nod of understanding and says, "Okay, just as long as we go talk to Duraga, I'm okay. I just want to make sure we do that."
Achilles nods.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly how long have we been talking, Dion?
I'd say probably, like, including the time that Achilles and Harry were outside, probably like 15-20 minutes.
They still have not arrived.
You mean Harold? He hasn't yet, correct.
I am concerned about Harold and the others.
Yeah, I don't know why he went back. The dragon just was wanting to attack the keep or orchard. Things might not be good. I still don't know who that dragon person is. I hope it's not Celebi. Otherwise, it'd be really bad.
Serena, did you have any concerns floating around in your head?
I guess my concern would be what's going to happen to Lady Celia while we do all this. Is there anybody that can watch her? Or make sure that she is not harmed?
I could leave Catherine with her.
That leaves you without any sight.
I mean, you know, I'll get along.
Elias' hand, like, slowly goes up on the side of her body that's, like, away from Harry. So he can't see it as well.
Yes, Elias?
I could at least have eyes on her.
In what way?
She smiles, and then you watch as she transforms into a little dove and begins to fly around the room in circles.
Oh, wow.
No, just
A little trick.
too many things I want to learn now. This is
Wait,
dangerous going out into the wide world.
can you change it to a dragon? Can you talk?
I don't. You don't even know how to make a dove sound. You hear dove sounds.
Oh, she can talk like this.
I mean, I would argue she is talking. You
Oh,
just can't
yes.
understand her.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I'm a little confused because I didn't think that you would necessarily be leaving Lady Celia alone.
She
I
would
mean,
be alone with these-
even if the five of us are not there, Daniel and Elia and Harry and hopefully Harold will be there with whatever preparation they need. I don't. How long of a conversation do you think this will be with this Duranga?
I don't know.
He seems very smart, so I'm guessing a long time. If
Probably not. But I also don't think it's safe to bring Daniel back into the city. I kind of do like the dove idea. It's pretty cool.
I think that's quite cool as well.
And the dove lands on your shoulder and just kind of.
Like, oh,
It's a bit of a flight for a dove, though, isn't it? Like it'd be quicker not by dove. No? I don't know. What's the average airspeed velocity of a magical dove?
what's the walking speed of a dove?
Wait, but what kind of dove is it?
Look, no green! Ah!
What's the other consonant called? So this one is Stropharia. What's the other one?
Is it a Strapharian dove or an Exodorian dove? And
To your lessons of ornithology on Twitch.
they were each holding a 2-pound rock.
Ah, yep.
Good times.
Sorry. My content was legitimate in character as well. I do have that concern, but I couldn't pass it up.
If we're passing closer by Bastion to go towards the peaks, the distance flying from there to Bastion would be shorter.
Wait, sorry. Duranga is in Bastion.
No,
He's in the peaks, like, which is
he's really
to
close.
Bastion.
Mm-hmm. It's really close.
So
He's at the foot of the peaks.
I see. So would it make more sense to pick up Lady Celia on the way, maybe have Daniel, Elia, and Harry go the long way around the city, us go through the city, and then head to the peaks all together, and then we can head to the crossroads from there and skip Bastion?
Certainly possible. We could do that, though. It may not be wise for us to enter the city in our current state. We don't exactly know if we can trust people in the city.
None of us are persona non grata, though. Like, all of us are pretty
Well,
much
we weren't.
unremarkable in the city. Although, that does make me wonder if brother, what's his name, is also... Hey, Harry, did you know brother Gerald? I had to write out a phonetic pronunciation because I messed it up every time. I still don't know if I got it right. Do you know brother Gerald in the Temple of High Tier in Bastion? I'm looking specifically for if he's connected to this resistant you're speaking of.
We need 2 seconds to sort out my notes. I have Brother Gerald down as the butler at the Myrna Estate, which does not seem correct to me as I'm now reading back through my notes.
He had plate armor and a golden sword. And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there was Guard David, brother Gerald, Gerald.
Charles.
Dave!
Charles is the butler.
Charles was
is
the
good.
butler.
And also a now dead zombie.
We gotta check on Guard Dave.
Sure.
He owes money.
Davis died.
And then Jonathan was our favorite fruit seller.
Yeah.
No, he
I'm
wasn't.
eventually going to ask you about every person we've ever met, but I am specifically interested whether Brother Gerald, because of his connection to the murders, if he's involved with the resistance.
Brother Gerald.
It was his tip that led us to Lady Celia in the first place, to looking for you and all.
Oh, that's rather kind of him. We certainly visit him. He's probably the brother that we've spent the most time with at the church. We go every week, as it were. It always felt like the right thing to do for some reason or another.
I am a bit concerned. I believe if we do believe that these people are searching for dragons, then perhaps Ikara and myself, to a lesser extent, should not be seen in public. I find their earlier attack to be a bit much, but if you assume that they were expecting that they may be facing a dragon, then it would make sense.
I was thinking the same thing, to be honest, Nubian, because when I was there, I was yelling, he was roaring back as a sign of battle. So I think he was challenging me as a dragon versus dragon. And I was confused about that because, again, us silver dragons, we talk. But I think we kind of stick out.
You know, that's a very good point about the two of you being in the city. Since we are trying to not bring the mariners into the city, you've kind of talked me back around to this split up idea again. Maybe the two of you and the mariners and Harry, soon to be Mariner, I think, should go around the city, not through it. Let the rest of us retrieve Lady Celia, do whatever business we else might have in the city, and then meet you outside.
So
Harry asks, "Are any of you any good with the disguises?"
I'm afraid not.
no, I can't.
May have a little something.
Because I'm a little less noticeable, I think, being that I'm not a noble of the city. Perhaps if we could put me in some sort of disguise, I at least could accompany you.
That I believe I could do.
Also,
that.
I do have
Go
an out of character question. From my knowledge, is it the Duragas, the peak to Duraga before we enter Bastion? Because I'm looking at the map, and it looks like the peaks is before we enter. Or maybe am I misunderstanding where we're coming from? Because the peaks is this brown spot right here, right next to the map, right? So
It's
what
right
do we?
here.
Yeah, that place
Above, to the north.
to the north. So
Yeah, so you'd be coming in the southern gates of the city.
oh, we're currently south. Okay, gotcha. I thought we were toward the west.
Yeah, you guys are at the little key marker thing.
Gotcha. Thanks. I appreciate it. Good to know.
Nezra, is there a maximum distance on that communication thing you can do?
Yes, there is. I believe it's 30, 61 something. 40 feet.
Oh, yeah. I think the city is bigger than that.
I can communicate, I think, up to 120 with a spell, but still the city's quite a bit bigger than that for sure, Kara. Yeah. Alaya, do you have any capability of more long-range message sending in magical capacity? I think you can turn back into a person now because, like, my pigeon is horrible. You know, I tried taking lessons, but never panned out.
Pigeon.
And you see the little dove like takes off of Serena's shoulder, goes over and lands on Harry's head, pecks him twice, flies down to the ground, and then turns back into Alaya Murner. And she says, my apologies. I rather like being a bird.
I mean, you can see why flying sounds fantastic.
Would you like to fly sometime?
You know, I would. I can kind of like lift myself up a little bit, but I can't really stay up there. It's one of those things.
There are larger birds that are a bit better at carrying other people throughout a flight.
Very true.
No, there's an idea. I mean, Party Duranga could fly over the city.
If you could do that, that could work.
Question. If I'm going to be helping with this disguise, when do we want to head out?
What time of day is it? I completely forget.
That was happening like
So we're in the city. We got Bamfed
because
back.
because you got Bamfed back. I want to say by the time you all have traveled here, it's probably like evening.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to suggest. I mean, personally, I'm completely fine with traveling at night, but I would like to give Harold some time to possibly rejoin us. And I know that other people might not share my comfort at night travel, so maybe it would be better to wait for closer to dawn.
I will say this. I need an hour to get everything ready to make this disguise, so if we want to wait at least an hour and then decide if we should leave.
Also, for the first time in my life, or at least in a while, I'm very mentally exhausted. I haven't had this happen in a very long time. So maybe some rest would be good.
I think we probably ought to wait for the night. There's plenty of space here.
That sounds like a fair idea.
Are there separate rooms or anything?
Well, no, I suppose not.
Okay. Then I suggest everybody keep your hands to yourselves while we sleep.
I would like to
Oh,
also give you a
Here,
warning.
is that something we need to be worried about?
More for you two, but maybe sleep on opposite sides of the room. Or
Wait,
The
what?
shot.
Afraid I don't understand.
rather like points to you, Cara.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Don't. So Achilles undoes the blindfold from around his head. Here you go, Kara. Put that on for the evening. You'll be fine.
He's not going to block out the sounds, Achilles.
You have thoughts, Virgie. You can just kind
The
of
sound of your snoring, I think, will help out because I've bunked with Serena 2 nights in a row, and I know that Serena snores.
Yeah, you're just gonna cast thaumaturgy all night.
Okay. I'm going to go do my nighttime ritual with my journaling and my getting everything ready for the next day to prep my spells and all that kind of stuff. And then I am going to crash out, believing us to be safe.
Oh wait, but before that happens, Ikara will like to go to Nesra and be like, "Oh, by the way, um, so I didn't want to say this, but after I did the sending to my mom, I felt a little weird. It's like I I can't go back to where I first started. Like I don't feel like I'm at full strength. Do you happen to know a way of how to fix it?"
Um, unfortunately, like, can I make a medicine check on him to see how much of it is fixable and how much of it is not?
On Ikara?
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice, 24.
You know, it's the weirdest thing. You're not especially familiar with dragonborn physiology, as it were, but like you've actually read a book one time about something
Yeah, that happened.
vaguely related to that, right? Because this is the sort of thing that academics are stupid enough to write books on. Um, he rather seems like he's suffering from blood loss.
Well then, I am going to staunch the wound and also heal him.
There are no wounds. It just
Oh.
looked like his body does not have as much blood as what it needs to circulate.
Do I think that there's anything I can do to help with that, or do I think that this is he needs to rebuild his blood over time kind of problem?
Fluids would definitely be good. Should probably get him some water before he falls over. But
Cool. So I'm going to pull out my water scan, some rations. I got a piece of fruit from the city, and I'm going to share it with him. And I'm going to tell him, "Like, Kara, you look kind of pale, kind of wan. I'm concerned about your hydration level, and I think that you might just be overall exhausted. So I'm going to recommend that you take some of this." And I hand him the fruit, and I hand him the food and the water, and get a good night's rest. And then in the morning, I would like to talk with you again to see if you've improved, or if maybe there's some more I can do. And I'm going to think about. I will look to see if I have. I think I have lesser restoration at this level that I will prep for tomorrow in case I need it. It will change my spells list a little bit.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you? Where is your bedroll?
Oh, it's right here. And he'll, go to his explorer pack and pull out the bedroll. It's like, this is the one they gave us.
It looks functional.
Mm-hmm. It's not like the ones we see in
Take
like
out
ants and stuff.
one of my pillow and like put it because it looks. I would imagine the monk version of a bedroll is like, well, you're
Yeah.
not on the ground technically.
Yes, pretty much. The flattest of futons known to man.
100%.
Yes.
So I will pull out like my pillow and put it with the car and be like, I know this was a difficult day. You've had a few difficult days in a row, I think. But some rest will help, and then maybe we can talk more.
Okay. Thank you. It's been rough. This place has been weird. But I guess I had to learn about it sometime.
Sorry, this is Aaron not understanding. Was your weakness connected to the? Oh, the message is when you got your life drained or whatever. To send it.
Yeah, because essentially we did ascending to my mom, and then drain both Nuvian and I
remember.
Yeah, 25% of our hit points.
Because I know that Nuvian was also affected, or there. Maybe I don't know how affected he was, but I will toss him a piece of fruit. Be like, hey, you may want to drink more water.
thank you for your concern.
For what it's worth, despite the fact that Nuvian suffered from the same thing, and therefore must be suffering from the same type of ailment, you don't actually notice any physical signs of it on him or his body because of the way that he chooses to live his life. You
Yeah.
can't tell by looking at him or with a medical inspection.
I guess I keep tossing out fruit to everybody and warnings for hydration. Just a blanket. Everyone should be drinking more water. If you don't have water, please get some right now.
Actually,
Hydrate.
Rena's just like, gee, thanks, mom.
and then he'll say to Harry, Harry, did you want to get some sleep first, or do you want to join me on the first watch?
I'll join you.
Right. Well, let's go wait outside then, I imagine.
Oh, I guess how's watch being set up? Did we break that down by chance?
We probably could do 2 people per watch.
Yeah,
Probably.
because everybody needs to sleep at least 6, right? Nobody gets the 4-hour bonus. Okay, cool.
We have no elves in
No
this
elves.
entire
No, that is a
party.
bit of a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Do we take a watch if no one else wants to?
Oh, I'm pretty sure we're all taking watches. It's just we're not sure.
He'll take the first one if
Well,
he wants to.
I think Achilles and
So-
Harry was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Achilles and Harry were going to take the first watch. You want to jump on the second one, Nuvian?
I say Serena would have stayed up for a while because she doesn't sleep much. So I guess she could take the second with Nuvian.
And I'll do the third.
Why don't you take 4th? Because I think thematically it makes more sense for Nezra to take like the darkest part of the night.
Okay.
I would like if Alaya is not snoozing out, I would take Alaya as my partner for watch.
Yeah, when you ask, she says she will join you.
Wait, so yours?
So where's the car going?
Yeah.
Dakara's got to go with either Nuvian or you, and then Harry. No, not Harry. Daniel, if Daniel's being included, would be with you.
I think Daniel should just sleep.
Don't think.
I also agree, which is why I think it might be a good idea for the last watch because everyone will be mostly well rested to be the one.
Daniel's like, no, I should join you. It's only proper. And then Elia just kind of like, and he kind of, okay, I'll go to bed. And he's sort of like, it's probably like 7:30 p.m. and he just like immediately goes over to lay down before it's even like all the way dark yet.
Good man. Good man.
So, sorry, just to clarify, who's doing 4th? Okay.
Sorry.
Serena and Ikara?
Okay. I guess.
So Nuvian's by himself.
That is
I can
not
do it by myself.
that is
Hog
not
will stay with Nuvian.
Right.
to be fair though, Nuvian being by himself is not an uncommon
Very on
state of
brand.
being.
Right,
for
all
him.
right, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you all begin to make your watches. Achilles, go ahead and make me a perception check. This one
Okay.
is actually listening based.
Listening. So I'm going to use Catherine's perception bonus. That's okay because she has advantage on that.
Well, you would have advantage anyway, right? With Harry helping you, or is
Oh,
Harry
okay.
rolling separate?
Well, it's still better with Catherine because she gets a +4. I only have +1.
He rolled for himself.
I'll roll for Catherine, I guess. 16.
So there's a moment where you start to hear something, and you and Harry both kind of like look at each other, and you're like, okay, well, I guess he heard it too, because through Catherine, you can see that his head is like fully turned, and Achilles can even like hear the rush of the wind as his head quickly turns. And then you both just kind of cock your heads and listen for a moment. You hear like the thundering of hooves, like men riding on horseback in the dark. But there must be a lot of them, at least a couple dozen, for the sounds to be echoing loud enough that you hear them down this short path into the trees.
Does it sound as if they're coming towards us?
No, it just sounds like they're riding. It's not getting any closer. Eventually, like a siren coming past you, you hear it, and then it passes, and it disappears off into the night.
So Achilles will wait until that's passed, and say to Harry, well, at least they don't seem to have found us yet, which is a good thing.
It's us they're looking for.
Part of me wonders if they weren't actually following their potentially escaped new dragon.
Possible.
Right. See, while I have a moment, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you have special weapons, etc. I am a blacksmith by trade. Would you mind if I take a look at your sword?
Sure.
Thank you. So he wants to go ahead and inspect it, see if he can tell if it's an interesting kind of metal or what he can get out of it.
Make me a check with your smith's tools.
Okay.
And then a separate arcana roll.
Okay. So with the smith's tools, do I only add the proficiency, or do I add one of my stats to it as well?
We'll make it intelligence based. Both of the
Okay.
checks are intelligence based. So
Okay.
D20 intelligence and proficiency for the smith's tools, and then arcana.
So there'll be 12 for the smith's tools and a 19 for arcana.
You're not entirely sure exactly what it does. But you can read the celestial runes that were inscribed upon it. And the spell sort of sounds like an enchantment for the destruction of ghosts. Something for like dismissing spirits back to the other worlds.
Okay. Serena is quite gifted with making these magical things too, from what I've gathered, and I'm quite good at forging. I would love the chance to try and create something with her along these lines for myself, to be honest.
Well, you've been a decent friend so far. Continue to be so decent, and perhaps someday soon I might feel comfortable enough to share the originations of the enchantment with you.
I would be delighted. And he hands back the sword.
It might take a bit of time or experimentation, because if we're not able to find another copy, I believe my father's books may have been a bit damaged. in the battle at the orchard.
Ah. Oh no. Right.
Not quite feeling comfortable enough to swing by there and check yet, but I've sort of got a bit of a feeling.
Hmm. Understandable. Well, when we're able. And then
Certainly.
we'll finish out our watch.
You do so. And then when you all return, Alaya gets woken up by Harry. Do you go ahead and wake up Nezra as well?
Mhm.
We are third watch. It's Nuvian's watch right now.
Oh, okay. So he'll sort of leave you to wake up Nuvian.
All right. All right. Vivian. We did hear some hooves. Seems like the army is out there, but they seem to have moved away from us. But keep a close eye. I think little Cog here and Achilles will give him a bit of a pit. Cog now, not Nuvian. And I think little Cog here might be helpful to you.
I understand. And make sure to get some rest.
Right. Achilles will go through his little nighttime ritual, undoing the blindfold and taking his shirt and folding it really, really nicely and putting it in his back and getting his bedroll out, sleeping.
And I knew, go outside and do his watch.
Go ahead and make me a perception check for Nuvian. You can make it an advantage. We're just gonna say Cog gives you advantage instead of trying to actively help.
Oh, jeez. Okay, 20 is my score.
You get on edge for a moment until you realize they're not approaching you, but you hear the sound of ranks marching out on the road. They tend to have like a heavier footfall on man-made roads like that than they do in the forest, and you can sort of just like feel the rumbling a little bit of men marching.
That's going to be a problem. And he will do some meditating while he focuses and listens to things around him.
It's probably 15 minutes or so before they fully pass through, but after that point, you don't hear anything else for the remainder of your watch.
He will return and wake up Nezra and Serena, I believe. I believe that was the group.
Nezra and Elia.
Alaya, right. Just too many names. Can't keep up.
I'm imagining you do manage to wake up Serena for about half a second. And then she rolls over and you hear it snores again. Okay.
It's more like he goes over to Serena and is about to wake her up, and then Cog just goes.
Am I rolling with advantage or is Eli rolling separately?
It depends. Do you tell her to just sort of relax and enjoy the night? Or do you just go about a watch as normal? Because if you don't say anything to her, she's going to be rolling for herself. If you were to say something to her along those lines, then it'd be more like just helping you keep watch.
No, I think we'll keep a normal watch, so we'll each roll. I think that makes more sense contextually. One moment. I will use if she shows any discomfort for the middle part of the watch, I will use Eyes of Night so that she and I both have unlimited dark vision.
So that you both
So yeah, because I can, as an action, I can share it with creatures up to 5 within 10 feet of me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception.
Okay. Hopefully that will help her perception because she's actually able to see forever. It's like 300 feet, 500 feet. It's really long.
That is a crazy good skill.
Natural 20. Oh,
Girl.
why you cast your spell first?
She also actually rolled a dirty 20 as well. So, you guys are doing pretty well. You actually see the soldiers this time, and it looks like there's probably at least 100, maybe hundreds. Like when you're just watching ranks of men marching in grayscale shapes, like it's kind of tough to try to count them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a lot, and because of the unlimited dark vision, you can now see these random gray forms walking by you in the night.
Now, which direction do they seem to be heading? Towards Bastion or away?
Away from.
Okay. Is it heading more south? Like
Mhm.
towards the
Yeah,
orchard? Or
No, like you guys are now past the orchard and they're moving past you. It'd be in like the direction of Maw, probably, by the time the road circles back around. Because you guys
Okay.
aren't actually on one of these main paths right now, by the way. Obviously,
Right.
you can probably tell that from the marker. You guys are on like a side road.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Um,
I can't really draw all of the roads at a detailed enough level on the map resolution. I should probably draw like an area map or something to give you guys like a more detailed look into whatever part you're at. So
the second you
I'll
do,
write
we'll
that
flee to
down.
the other side of the continent.
That's probably true, but I'm gonna take a note.
Is there any chance that with my vision I can see any form of insignia or banner or like an indicator of whose troops? Like, can I see that they're the Marshal High Lord's troops or? I did roll a natural 20. That's gonna.
So typically, dark vision only gives you like grayscale. So it'd be pretty hard to like tell identifying characteristics like what's on a flag. I will say you do see flags though. So like it's distinctively like actual military troops of some sort marching, whether it's Bastion or one of their enemies like circling around on them, you can't be sure. But
Okay, so I see the flags, but not the insignias. Got you. But they do not
Yeah.
seem to be coming any closer to us. Like, does not seem to present any threat to our position.
they do not. And actually, Elia, since you seem interested in what could be on the flags, offers that it might be a little bit on the danger side, and Harry would probably tell her not to. But it's possible that a bird could try to look for the insignia on the flags.
Yeah, why not? I will pat her on the shoulder, and when I do, I will cast a Vigilant Blessing. So if she ends up having to roll initiative because of bird shit, she will at least have advantage. But just be careful. If you need to not return for a little bit, just be careful. I do think that Harry would absolutely kill me if something happened to you.
Well, I think he would probably try, though I begin to wonder how successful he might be, especially amongst your friends. And then you see she like jumps into the air, transforms into a literal eagle, and starts going up through the treetops.
Very cool. I'm gonna watch her as much as I can, so I can at least have a heading of where she went, since I don't see any other dangers.
You see that she actually sort of like intermittently disappears from your sight. Because like the columns marching, it's obvious that they're there, but they're sort of like passing in and out of your sight, and you just can look in all
Mhm.
directions and see holes in the trees where there's gray masses. With her, she disappears from sight for a bit, comes back into it, dipping below the tree line. When she goes back above the tree line, it's hard to see. And then you see like a flutter of movement in the tree line. And it looks like basically arrows going up into the air. So you look up, and it looks like people are actually trying to shoot arrows at the eagle. It's kind of hard to tell how successful they are. But you do see that after they do so, eventually the flurry of activity sort of stops, and they just resume marching.
I will wait like a minute or two before I wake everybody up.
It is it's about a minute or two, so we'll say, for in the interest of fairness, because you specified an interval. After about that minute or two, you begin to see an eagle flying closer to you above the tree line.
I'm just gonna whisper to myself, "You had better be a liar."
Just so you can see like a picture in your mind of what's happening, I'm gonna give you just like a little bit of meta.
Okay.
She had to like circle back. That's why she didn't immediately appear. She had to like go by, try to move out of the way of their ranks, or at least to a different spot on them, and then circle back. That's why she disappeared from view for a minute. Just so you're aware of like what was actually happening.
Okay.
I wasn't just messing with your head or something. Like that's the action that she was performing. But you see, when she comes back, she lands as an eagle, and there's a broken off arrow sticking out of one of the wings, and she transforms back into a human girl, and the arrow just sort of clatters to the ground, and you can see Alaya herself appears unwounded.
Well, you had me worried there for a little bit.
Bit more exciting than what I had intended, but I got the information that we were looking for. It
Yes.
had the tower. Those
Mm.
are the marshal's men.
And considering that they attacked an eagle at night, I'm going to assume that they're looking at the skies for a reason.
I would certainly guess so. Although I believe they have some magic users of some sort with them. I was going to say wizards, but I suppose never be sure exactly where a person originates their magical talent.
Do you think somebody saw an eagle in the middle of the night and was like, and clocked you?
It's possible. Certainly I don't think they would have known it was me though, so that's at least a positive.
Well, I'm very happy that you are unharmed. Does not appear my vigilant blessing helped you any, but it gave me a little bit of mind as I waited.
I think it certainly helped me stay a bit out of trouble. I think this probably ought to stay between us, don't you think?
I absolutely agree. Yep. 100. I agree.
100%.
Oh goodness, look at the time. It's almost that time. Is it about time for our watch to end? I was gonna talk to her, but like now I'm too on edge.
Well, you still
I
can
almost
if
got
you
her
would
killed.
like to.
No, I almost got her killed.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying,
You
in
got-
character, I can't.
You've got like 2 hours left. So
No.
now you're like stuck there, kind of like
Do that awkward thing, like so.
For what it's worth, like
I'm here often.
Nezra's rather good at reading people, right?
I am.
I mean, like with that sort of passive level of insight, as it were, seems rather in high spirits for someone that just got arrows shot at them. And you gather that she might have enjoyed the excitement a little bit.
Well, Elia, I don't mean to like pry or anything, but really not what I was expecting. When your mother said, "Oh, my daughter went to the orchard and didn't come back," I wasn't expecting someone who flew into the face of armies, I guess.
Well, how many mothers truly want to, noble mothers nonetheless, truly want to describe their daughter as a woman who frequently goes to the orchards because she prefers the company of plants? I mean, really, who eats that many apples?
I had asked the same question. Did not get a satisfactory answer. When we reunite with your mother, you might want to work on her skills about describing you. If you want to keep this kind of pretense in your new place.
Well, I rather think that's more her problem than mine.
Okay, fair. How old is Elia again? Because I just downrated her to teenager very quickly. How old is she?
Like 21.
No, let's what do you think about all this dragon business? That's the part that I don't really understand. And I would like to actively insight check whatever comes out of her mouth.
What do I think about all the dragon business? Well, I think it's rather untoward for them to keep those creatures as, like a horse. I mean, they're rather different than horses, at least that's what I've been able to gather. Can't say I've ever met one. Well, at least I hadn't until, I met your companion. There's more than meets the eye going on, and I'm a bit concerned for our world at the moment.
Yes, between this explosion in, I lost the name of the place. Erlorn. This explosion in Erlorn and the troops that we see moving about now, heading to the south. I'm very concerned all over the place.
Someone is clearly making moves. I'm just not sure who or what moves they're making.
Have you ever run in the same circles as Lord Mardinald or any of his family staff? I don't know how Noble works.
I have not. However, I have actually met the High Lord of Magic, Laria Fortmanner. I've met her before.
Really?
Yes. She seems rather a sweet human, in my assessment. If something strange were to be going on, perhaps she could be an ally of some sort.
And you were a regular attendee at the Temple of Tyr. I don't know if that was by personal choice or familial affiliation, but any opinions on that organization?
Well, as far as I can tell, the people amongst it mean well. I'm not sure what that says about the organization. That tends to be a bit harder to read. I tend to be one more for spirituality than organized religion, as it were. So I suppose I just think that it's good to make what you can of what you have, and to be kind to people when.
Yes, it's just the last time I was in Bastion, I noticed just how martial everyone there looked. They were dressed out in plate, and I mean, it looked quite dangerous, awe-inspiring, perhaps. Did we
Well-
lose that? Okay, you're back.
Well, I suppose that for some people it breeds a sense of safety, and for perhaps others it doesn't. And I'd probably place myself into the second category, but I won't tell you where you should place yourself.
That's fair. That's fair. Is there anything we can do? Like, this has to have been hard on you, with the attack on your family and then the attack on Harry's family. This has to be quite difficult. Is there some way that we can support you that we are not already?
Well, not to my knowledge. I mean, you all seem as though you've been quite grand, as it were.
I have not known these people for too terribly long, but they consistently impress me. Nuvian, for example, is ridiculously good at finding information. I don't understand how he does it. I read like practically a whole library, and he was like, "Yeah, what if?" And he found exactly what he was looking for. It was amazing.
That does seem like the sort of people that you'd like to have in your corner, I must admit.
And after this most recent excursion, this is really the first fight I've been with them. That was very interesting to see what people can do.
It certainly was. I feel a bit bad about that.
Because
I was a bit worried about my father, but I feel as though perhaps I should have turned into a bear or something and prevented you all from becoming so injured.
no, I think that you did exactly the right thing. I mean, if we were worried about you and Daniel, then we could not have defended ourselves.
Maybe.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing that a good night's rest can't help us with. I'm not going to ask her any further particular questions.
That's probably true. And she says, that's probably true. And she spends a bit more just sort of chatting with you in the night about random things. Telling you a bit about like how she got into the whole Druid thing, which we can DM about later. And then she kind of grows quiet for a little bit, seeing that you have nothing else to share, and just sort of enjoys the quietness of the night. And you notice, actually, still having the help of your eyes, she's kind of like scanning the forest a bit, almost like she's looking for the creatures of the forest. You see like a deer off in the distance, and her eyes kind of like follow that and watch it for a bit until it drifts out of sight. And then eventually your watch is over.
I like the idea that it's kind of like secondhand Druid sight, because like I can't see where all the animals are, but if I'm watching her, I can see where she looks, and then I get to see some nighttime like animal wildlife. I like that.
Yep.
All right, Serena and Ikara, I will wake both of them. I honestly, I would not put you through this.
As you guys come back in, you can see Achilles is sleeping, but there's like a very light golden glow around him, and he's actually levitating about an inch off the ground. He's
Nezra,
Yes.
is that
Yes.
normal?
I have never personally witnessed this before, to my knowledge. When we were sleeping in the shed, did he do that when he slept? No. I mean, I've only seen him sleep once or twice before, like on the road and stuff, but it's new to me. I'm not terribly surprised.
Rather quite amazing, and that's coming from me, and I can turn into a bird.
Yeah.
I mean, that glow is rather pleasant, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. Feels I don't know, illuminating, warm.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'm gonna wake Akara first because I trust him to not rip my face off, and then I'll
Yeah.
go wake up Serena with a prepped action to dodge.
Waking up Akara is like the opposite of waking up Serena.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, yo, Akara, get up, and he's like,
Ah,
what a nice day to be awake again.
yes.
Dreams, please.
Did you have a good night? Like, and
Early bird.
Serena's just
Oh.
like,
She's like that Sandy Cheeks episode of the Wake Group.
Yes. So I will briefly tell Akara about and Serena about that we saw troops moving because I was able to see in the dark. They do not appear to be noticing us at all, and they're moving like in a southerly direction and like just kind of past us. So keep quiet while you're on watch and don't go wandering. But we haven't seen any sign of Harold either.
Mm,
All right.
okay, how many was there?
Oh, you know, hundreds.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a lot.
Like, am I still asleep? Why did you say 100?
No. Hundreds. More than.
Oh, I misheard you. That's still not good.
200.
It's
I'm
okay.
just saying, like I said, they do not seem to even know that we're around, so keep it that way and we should be good to go.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, sweet dreams.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I guess we'll make our way up.
Yeah. I was going to ritual cast alarm, but now I feel like I shouldn't.
you don't want to like, I'm building an alarm here.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, so the actual casting of the spell is like relatively low key. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it doesn't like draw a lot of attention generally. It's just like some thread and some arcane words. Not huge.
So the way that we're like situated, would it be that there's the tree, the entrance, and we're at the entrance, but there's like a back to the tree?
Yeah, so it's kind of sloped. It goes down a little bit into like the earth beneath the tree. Is like the roots come out down in front. You open to the roots, go through it, and the tree's like above you, but it's not as big as the area down below. So when you come out to where people have been taking their watches, there's a tree behind you. There's the entrance, which you're basically sitting in, where the roots of the tree used to be, and like you could actually find like a rock or something, or go around to the side of the tree and like put your back against the tree if you wanted to.
Okay.
So, I mean, is that descriptive enough of what you needed to know?
Yeah, I'm basically just trying to find a spot where like it's our blind spot that we can't see, and then put my alarm there.
That would be directly behind the tree.
Also,
Okay.
I do have to step away for just about 2 minutes, so I'll be right back.
Uber Eats is here. That's what it is.
I was just thinking that, but I was gonna put it in the group chat instead of calling him out on stream.
Oh.
But yeah.
So I will go ahead and cast my alarm to the back where we can't see.
You got it.
Sweet. Take 10 minutes to do that. Just leave a car to go play in the dirt or something. I don't know. I don't know what kids do.
Okay. Well,
This is the point of the watch where you're like, it's too quiet. What is a car doing?
It's like, oh god, did he fall or something? Scrape his knee.
So you all do not actually hear any marching throughout your watches. It's pretty low key. You hear mostly sounds of nature waking up around you. The birds and the bees that Ikara still has with him in his satchel.
Great. I guess I kind of need to wait for here to get back for this.
That sounds like a good place to take a quick 5-minute break.
Woo!
Darn it. I keep forgetting we're not actually a pause. It's like, oh, let me talk about some of Nezra's philosophy and stuff. No, it's not actually a pause. I'll just shut my mouth.
Not. Do we have any questions in the?
I enjoy how we've all taken the opportunity to sort of block Harry and block Harry and Elias.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, funny business.
Funny business.
No.
All right, I'm back. You guys can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
Perfect. Excellent. All right. So I guess we were. Did I miss anything?
There's a dragon.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're being attacked by a dragon right now.
I had a feeling. Just to be on the safe side. So we Ikara make.
What do we need him for?
For the for watch. I was on watch.
Well, Serena had said something about we sort of did some of that, and then Serena was like, "Oh, we need Ikara for this."
Oh yes. So Ikara was going to look at Serena and says, "So I noticed when we were at during the fight that you spoke Draconic. So
I did.
Where did you learn that from?"
Well, it wasn't from my dragon. I kind of just read a bunch of books and I picked it up wherever people would write stuff down. I don't even know if half the stuff I know is right, but...
So you were reading about dragons?
Yeah, it was kind of a little pastime that I did growing up.
Oh.
I kind of like dragons.
Really? He kind of like kicks his legs back and forth from where he's sitting when he sees this. He's like, "What do you have any questions? I can probably answer all the questions. I can answer so many questions. I know so much. I think. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know."
Thank you, Ikara.
Ikara's like, "Oh my gosh, I know so much about dragons. I mean, I know like literally all the stuff that I know, which is like everything I know."
Yeah, pretty much.
I like
It has to be a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ikara just like got so high pitched when he started talking. Like a lot of people just like was like, "What is that sound?"
Wait, did my alarm actually go off?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, what?
There's like some dogs all the way over in Bastion that are like,
Wait, what? Oh, that was funny. But he says, "Wow, yeah. Well, I mean, I could tell you about silver dragons. I could kind of tell you about red dragons because we had to deal with red dragons. And then other stuff. My mom has told me other stuff too.
Yes, I'm still a little fascinated that you, well, your mother and presumably your father, well, that
He just looks
you
at
have
you.
the
confused.
that you have the features that you do. You're not very. You yourself are not a common sight around here. Neither am I, but
What do you mean?
do you remember when we were still in Bastion and we were talking about how people might see you different?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no issue with you being different. I'll tell you right now, I was kind of kicked out of my family because of the way I am.
Wait, what? Why did you get kicked? You're nice. Why would they kick you out? You're really nice.
Well, my family is not as welcoming. Whatever I am, really.
Are you like me? You speak your... Wait. He looks over. He says...
Oh no.
He starts sniffing. He's like... I don't think so. Well, maybe? Because... I never seen a dragon like you.
I don't think I'm part dragon. I just read the books and kind of, like them a lot. But
But why would they kick you out for?
well, you see, most of my family are human and I'm not. And I guess my family just doesn't care for things that are different.
Oh. Well, that's not nice. You should come where we are. They're more accepting. I mean, kind of. I mean, I still got picked on a little bit at the monastery, but it wasn't really because of what I looked like. It was more because I couldn't do what they did, so I had to find my own way. But not from what I look like. You should come with us.
Well, so far I'm really liking the group that we have. Nobody's told me I look different or weird. I didn't really even have to hide my horns either.
Well, is horns are not different? Are horns different here?
You could say that. I guess you yourself gave me a little bit of confidence in not really caring what other people think about appearances.
Really? Me? So I'll be honest. I was like that because I didn't know it was so different. So I just walked around like normal. But then people at Bastion started saying some things about dragons that weren't nice. So I kind of like hid it for a little bit. But then Nazra was really nice and said some really nice things. And so I was like, that makes sense. I could be who I am and not have to hide who I am. And if they don't like dragons, well, she said she would kill them.
Noted. I'm slowly coming around to that mindset as well.
Yeah, they should accept you too. Is that why you were scared to go to the one place you said you were going to get burned?
Well, that was probably because I've been called a devil before, and religious places and devils don't really mix too well.
Well, that's because they don't know you. They would talk to you. They would say you're really nice.
Thank you, Ikara.
Well, yeah, if you have any questions about dragons, like I said, I can tell you all about dragons. Because the thing is, Achilles says there was this book that he read, and and there was dragons that he was like killing dragons. And you should read those books, because those books sound bad. But I can tell you all the good stuff.
Yes. This is me laughing, Johnson. It's so cute. She just goes, I would love to hear all of your stories.
Oh, okay. So, in our life, we had to do with fighting red dragons. And he kind of goes over.
Just goes on and on.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much gives the scoop. And that's pretty much how the entire session goes. If she
Yep.
The whole watch. Oh man, that's awesome.
And your watch is uninterrupted as Ikara tells probably his whole story 3 times over in a way that's too fast to be truly understood by anyone other than him.
I was like,
Yep.
Yes.
He's not the best storyteller, not by any means.
So Rena would later go on to confirm that she knew that there were dragons in the story, but could not remember any more of the details than that.
Something about colors, but then also like your mother came up. I don't.
All right. You all finish your watch, and everybody wakes up in the morning from concluding their long rest. You can click the long rest button. Yes.
I think maybe everybody wakes up a little bit suddenly because Achilles isn't up early this morning by his normal choice. You wake up, you just hear oh, what the heck? What was that about? As he slams into the ground.
Oh, did you not know that you levitate in your sleep?
Nezra, you're up early, so clearly you must be hallucinating.
I know it's one of those things where like, I mean, the glow and then it stopped and then the thud, so like all of it at the same time was very startling. So I am awake because you are awake because it was nice.
And now we're going to take our official short break. Since our man behind the curtain is actually here to initiate the break this time. We will see you all back in a few.
Fantastic. So we say what, about 10 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Good to me.
Awesome. So once again, thank you all so much for coming by and watching the stream. I hope you appreciated the great conversations that we saw during the watch times. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break, get some grub. So I recommend you all do the same. Get some food, stretch out your legs, get some water. Do what Nasra just said not too long ago about hydrating. And we look forward to see you all soon in 10 minutes, of course. And if you would like to talk about what you're seeing in the campaign, you can join us via Discord. I'll put the Discord link here. Like I said, we'll be answering any questions, responding to comments, and also if you'd like to post fan art, all of that is absolutely fantastic. And again, we look forward to see you all soon in 10 minutes. Be right back. All right, and we're back for part 2 of It's Our World, episode 7. Hope you were able to get some grub, stretch out your legs, get some water. So with that said, fellow Flames, who's having a great time in chat, take it away, fam. Take it away.
Thank you, Ursa. Welcome back to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so you all had just woke up the next morning and you were in the middle of chatting about how Achilles had a very rude awakening. And I imagine he's probably wondering to himself if he's going to need to deal with that every day.
As is Nezra.
It's good that we're all awake now.
I mean, I don't know if I should start carrying around, like, I don't know, feather pillows or something just to lay under there.
You want to? Could tie you down.
Are you?
Really want?
You know, I was going to take this from the other perspective of, are you presently injured?
No, I think I might have knocked my funny bone a little bit, but other than that, I think I'm fine.
Well, I wouldn't worry about the pillows. Sounds like a neat little quirk, I guess.
I think I would start worrying if you start levitating higher each time.
That's true.
That's what was running through my mind. Like, I mean, what happens if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm on the ceiling or something?
Hold on.
Fair.
Grab the nearest object.
I
That
don't
is a new
believe
thing, I
Harold
guess.
returned.
Kara and I did not see him while we were taking our watch.
Yeah, we didn't see anyone.
Well, brushing himself off and getting his shirt out and putting the blindfold on. So we're heading towards the east. Or did we decide on the city first?
So, if I remember, we're going to Bastion, and then we're going to go around Bastion because they want to take dragons, so they will probably want to try to take me and my brother Nuvian. And then we meet you on the other side of Bastion after you pick up Lady Solana, and then we go to Durg. Meet Durg.
Fair.
I got that right?
Very good.
Okay.
Nuvian, Ikara, Alaya, Daniel, Harry, around the outside. Anyone else going to join that circumnavigation of the city?
We're the Flake
I reckon
crew.
I'll come with
Right,
the inside.
hold on. I just want to make sure I understand. Typically, the way that someone would enter the peaks is through the city.
Yes. They're trying to avoid going into the city.
And they're trying to go to the peaks, but from the opposite direction.
Like, yeah, they're going to go around to the north side of the city, but they're not going to go into the city wall.
So like just outside the gate where like you would go to
Yeah.
the peak.
And we're going to
So-
pick up Lady Celia on our way.
There's not like a north gate. I'm not sure if I've confused you all somehow about how the city is constructed. There's a east gate, a west gate, and a south gate, but the north is taken up by the peaks.
Okay.
So like the north gate out of the city leads to the peaks.
So you have to go through the city in
So-
order to get to the peaks?
That's what
So
he's
like that's the only way you would know of. Like it's mountains. If you wanted to go around, you could go up the mountains, right? But like if anyone saw you sneaking up the mountains from the wrong direction, that'd be even more suspicious, right?
Sorry, when you say that the north goes into the mountains, does it mean the city wall like abuts the mountains, or is it that there's like a tunnel or
Okay.
No, like the
They're
city
like
the city wall is built into the mountains. So that like the the mountains form part of the natural wall, like part of the wall of the city.
Oh,
So-
I
A
see.
natural barrier.
Would the east or the west gate be closer to that area?
Probably roughly equidistant. I'd say the west gate is a little bit closer, but like
Which side is, if you approach from the east or the west, which side going to the north takes you furthest away from the residential noble district or the temple administration district? Like, if you were trying to avoid specifically officials,
you would want to avoid the western part of the city.
So we go to the east then.
if
Celia's house is in the western part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to go through.
So I have a hood so I could cover my horns, but there's no way I could cover my tail. My tail's too big.
I mean, I think that we're at the point that we should maybe consider our past experiences in the city. I mean, we didn't necessarily have any difficulties traveling through it. I think if we don't draw attention to ourselves or go to places where we would be particularly noticeable.
But that was before we fought everyone, right?
To be fair, actually, after our last fight, the dragon came, so we didn't really get a chance to like loot the bodies or anything.
Yeah.
But in terms of who we are fighting, could you remind me of any affiliation or descriptors of them? Like, did they look like they were affiliated with any groups or people or churches or the High Lord or?
With the people you fought at the orchard,
Yeah.
they were wearing the emblem of the High Lord Marshal,
The tower.
which is like the same military symbol that's used by all of Bastion. So like, they're all his men. Like all, does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
all of the military men go up the chain, and then you get to him, including the people from Crossroads.
All right. In that case, yeah, I think Kara has a point.
Yeah.
See, I am sometimes wise. Sometimes.
I
Yeah.
have a bizarre idea if we are worried about the tail. Serena,
Yes.
could we not fashion your bag over Ikara's tail and then just like put a big cloak over him?
My bag? You mean the bag of holding?
Exactly.
You want to put Ikara's tail in the bag of holding?
Well, if he's worried about the tail, then it would definitely hide it.
It would, but I don't think we should put living things in it.
Your tail doesn't need to breathe, does it, lad? I mean, it's not. Or I don't know. Is it cold? Is it cold in there? I don't know how it works. I'll confess.
I could feel my tail, so if it's really cold, then it will freeze. Well, I'm used to cold weather, but I'm not sure how cold that would be.
Perhaps we should just put a bigger cloak on him.
All right. I mean, we can do that.
You have a big one?
I do not.
Like at some point, though, we will be drawing more attention to ourselves by attempting to not draw attention to ourselves.
I just have this image of having Cog like stacked on top of a car's head and putting a big cloak on there, and it just
Oh
says
my
this.
god.
What's that look like? It's gonna look like something out of that Moving Castle movie.
Oh no.
Why would you put Cug on top? That's what confuses me.
Yeah, like
Why not?
no, he might crush Cog. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I weigh a little bit more than Cog does. Cog will probably go over horns.
Just
Just a
Well,
little bit.
the thing is, it's either through it and we be careful, Maxwell, casual like, and or we try scale a mountain.
Well, I'm used to mountains, but that's just me. Because my family lives in mountains. But that's me.
They move through a mountain if we're traveling with a large group.
Oh, sorry. Is everyone aware that there were hundreds of soldiers passing in the middle of the night last night?
you mentioned that to me.
I believe so.
Yes, there were a lot
I
of
just
them.
want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. That
However, I did not hear them while Akara and I were on our watch.
Hey, Kara and Nuvian.
Yes.
Go ahead and revert your health pools back to their previous totals.
Yes!
Yeah.
So you see
I'm
today, Ikara's back to his more milk chocolate / caramel skin complexion versus the slight more pale. He looked a little bit more high yellow like Stephen Curry than before. Now he's back to normal.
It's more like his delightful macchiato self.
Yep.
Oh.
He's now back to mocha.
Good.
Julian looks the same.
Yep,
Nubian
Nubian
looks
looks
the
complete
same.
same. Yep. Complete same.
All right, nice.
It may be best for us just to make our way into the city and out quickly, to be honest. Though I'm not familiar with this bag you're referring to, I don't understand quite how it works.
Neither do I. To be fair, I just have this weird urge to stick my head in sometime. I don't know. It just sounds so interesting. I thought, we're trying to hide something. But
The only reason I don't know what would happen is because I don't want to stick anything alive in it in case it does die.
yeah, I mean that's fair. It's just my curiosity got the better of me. I thought it's just one of those things.
personally agree with Nuvian's point of view. That I think that we can outthink ourselves, trying to be extra stealthy and end up drawing a lot more attention.
I agree
Yeah.
as well. Now, the rest of us.
Perhaps, just an idea, because it will be quicker to go from the southern gate to Lady Celia's home than it would be to go to the eastern gate to Lady Celia's home and back to the peaks. Perhaps we should travel together until we get close to the city wall. Those of us who are going into the city can go ahead and go in from the southern and head directly to Lady Celia's home,
Aye.
the Murner Manor. And then the rest of you can travel during that same time to the eastern gate, and we can meet at the bottom of the peaks. So minimize the amount of time that we are separated.
I think that would be best.
Well, do we need to seal anything up here, Elia? I'm guessing that is your forte. Are we waiting for your dad, Harry? Or are we going to leave a message for him?
Well, I guess where's some paper? He goes over to one of the barrels and starts rooting through it. Eventually finds a sheet of paper and he's like, "We'll leave him a note," and starts scrawling the note.
Okay. Horses or leading the horse?
Horses might be good for those of us who are not experienced traveling in the mountains.
I mean, we brought the horses here. If they are still here, I think that we should take them with us.
All right.
Okay. Yes. I don't really feel like walking all the way back to Bastion, really.
You don't like walking?
Uh,
Oh. Okay.
Now, just to clarify, you all had left some horses out front, right?
Yeah, we had tied them up close to where we were.
mhm.
But you did not bring them all the way down the path with you, just Harry's, correct?
I believe so.
I'm very confused about whether they were brought or not. I was
I-
team bring them, but I don't remember.
I remember we
was
brought
with
two at
the-
least.
I was focusing on
I
riding the
will
horses
let you
while
all
standing.
rediscuss briefly and decide now. Did you bring them all with you or not?
I think we did.
I advocated bringing them, so
We spoke for so long about like not and then doing it, then not. Then I felt we ended on like, yeah, we're bringing them all.
I think so.
That's fine with me. Really, I didn't really care otherwise.
Yeah, we brought 'em.
Okay. You brought them all. The good news is that means they actually survived the night. So yeah.
Well, they're horses.
I
What
wasn't.
a terrible
I
like
wasn't.
box you
was-
just gave us.
I wasn't gonna make it overly graphic, but like when an army goes by some horses that aren't theirs, there's two options: bring them with you or cut them down.
He was about the Ghost of Tsushima, the horses.
Oh god.
Fate narrowly averted. Cool. I will hop up on my horse, which I don't have a physical descriptor of, but assume that there is a cute name for him, and offer Ikara a hand.
What would
Okay.
you like to? What would you like to name them?
Ikara, what's this horse's name?
Oh, let me see. Horse, what is your name?
And Nezra will make in Ikara's head a mind link and be like, Sandy.
She says name Sandy.
Nice.
Oh my god. I almost thought Ikari was just gonna say horse.
You watch as Alaya goes over to the horse and speaks a couple of words at him in a language that you all can't understand. And then she says, actually, he says his name is Grey Runner.
Well, we were close, Ikara.
But I heard in my head it says it. I don't get it. Okay, Grey Runner
I
is.
still have the mind link, so I'm like, you've heard my.
Wait,
I've been in bed before.
I was assuming that you changed your voice a bit to sound like a different person, right?
I'm not sure mentally how much you can. It's
Oh,
kinda like vocal cords. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
how you- like,
that's
ah.
true. Otherwise, you would know. I was assuming like you kind of like mask your voice in a way, but if your voice was the same, yeah, you wouldn't do.
Ikara's passive insight is like 2, dog. No passive insight.
It's all perception. It's all perception.
Ikara, are you going to join me?
Yes. And then he kind of like parkours up as he takes your hand and does like a flip on top. He says,
Sweet.
"Okay."
I'm hoping that Achilles' horse is a beautiful dapple gray.
It is.
Tight.
I was waiting for Zach to be like, nope, it's brown.
What's the opposite of gray on the color wheel? It's whatever that is.
Right? Pink?
Not really, but
Never
What
gonna steal
tactical?
from you.
I think
Never
I'll
gonna steal
call
from
you Daisy, even though I'm fairly sure you're a fella, but that's fine. You look like Daisy.
If Alaya horse name shames all of us, this is gonna be a long ride back and back.
Oh,
Alaya speaks a couple of words to
oh no.
Achilles' horse, and then she just laughs and goes and climbs on her horse.
So it's Daisy then. I mean, climb up on the horse. Who was ready? Serena. We were riding together, weren't we?
We were. Serena will cradle Cog like a baby and then get on top of the horse.
Catherine is just in front of he's doing the dog thing.
Cog says,
that's the gears. Wait, is Nuvia gonna be using his astral arms again to ride a horse?
Oh no.
Standing up to using the
Better be
arms.
standing up this
Yep,
time.
just like just standing.
I could do that. I could, but that would be a use of a key point. I'm not gonna do it.
Does Cog know how to make
horse?
grits? Maybe.
We're just gonna ride the horse.
Ah.
Again.
All right.
Oh, shall we get off?
I think so. Did you know a faster or I guess safer route that would take us to Bastion there, Harry?
take some side roads and then make our way back to the main road. That's probably the easiest way to blend in.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, I guess I suppose I'll try and lead the way then. Okay. You all begin to make your way back towards the city, following Harry. Now, I know you all have discussed it, but someone remind me specifically, what is your all's plan when it comes to how you're entering the city? Is everybody going to Celia's house? Are you still splitting up? Are people going around the back still, even knowing the entrance through the city? So you're going to the peaks, but through the city the proper way? Okay.
So we will still split up so that the group with Ikara and Daniel don't go through the city from south to north. They'll go from east
The north.
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of us will enter from the south, go pick up Lady Celia and at north.
Mm-hmm. So we can avoid the guards. Well, as much as can.
So who all is going to the Lady Celia's house?
Yes, Serena will also go.
So just the three of you. Elia is going with the rest of them as well.
Okay.
And when we get closer to the place, essentially Ikara would just ninja flip off of Nestor's horse or Tenuvia's horse, and then head towards that way. Yep.
Okay, so you all do. You enter the city, and Nuvian, Ikara, and their group begins to head to a different part of the city. As you all enter through the south, so that you can head into the west, and they are going to the east gate so that they can approach to the east and head down the roads to the north. To the roads to the north, you all get there and you see Duranga is actually sitting outside of his house. So he is there, and I assume that you all want to speak with him.
Yes, this is true.
Indeed.
For for those of you heading to Lady Celia's house. When the three of you approach, what are all of your passive insights? Is anyone above a 15?
I'll tell you in a moment.
17 for me.
12 for me.
Fair
No,
enough.
sorry. 9 for me. Whoops.
Remind me what the modifier is on that.
That's a wisdom modifier.
Yeah, it should be your. It's like 8 plus proficiency. Plus,
Oh, you mean just the passive wisdom or passive?
Yeah, passive
there's-
insight.
There's literally a passive insight section. It comes from 10
Yeah,
plus
10.
your insight
Yeah.
skill.
Mm-hmm.
Plus my answer.
Yeah, so if
So
you have
what's your bonus in insight?
It's a -1, so 9 then.
So yeah, you have 9. No, though. It's a bit weird how the presence of guard has picked up as you're approaching the street that, in particular, you're going to.
Guessing I'm seeing a lot of towers heading as we head towards. Is it? I mean, it seems specifically towards the Murner's house, not just like noble area.
Mm-hmm. But these are wearing the tabards of city guards and not an actual, like the military tabards that you had seen. They have different coloration patterns.
Okay. Mind link. That's a bunch of guards. And then I'll tell Serena the same thing. That's a bunch of guards.
Mm-hmm. Achilles will use message and message Nezra and then Serena afterwards, just to say, do you think we should try and make a distraction? Like, I reckon I could probably rustle up some people at the Yawning Tail that help us out with that.
I mean, also, it's tricky because I mean, none of us are particularly sneaky, I don't think. And it's reactivate the mind link. Possible that because now I don't have to think about the word limit. It's possible that a distraction would help, but maybe we should need to know what's the lay of the land. Are we, Zach, are we near, like, I know this is a more residential area. Is there a cafe or tavern or shop that we could conceivably be legitimately interested in?
Not in your immediate area. So the street that they're on is like it's like, I hate using this real life comparison, but think of it like a gated community, right? I mean, these are literally like the sorts of properties that have fences around them and are like taking up a good portion of the area in the city for a couple hundred houses, as much as thousands upon thousands of houses would take up. So they're like fenced in, but they're also like manor homes where they actually have like land associated with them. Now, Lady Celia's is one of the smaller ones, but you're still in that region of just like lots of houses around you with a lot of land.
I mean,
There's
also a third option. We could just be charming and
If you
go about our
do
business.
me to be a little sneaky, I can.
Oh?
Although, if you also need me to perhaps change my appearance, I can do that as well.
Oh? I am learning so much about you. We should do these little walks more often.
Are wonderful options. There is another option where I could send in Catherine with a little note, maybe asking her to meet us somewhere.
Can you no, Aaron knows this, but I don't think this will. When Catherine goes places, can you see or hear? I'm not sure exactly what kind of perception is, but can you get a sense of the surroundings, even if she is?
I
at
can, yeah, as
distance?
long as I'm not too far away, I can.
Yeah. I think then that might be the best idea to give us a little bit of a scope. How much does Catherine stand out in the city?
Oh, she's so small, like, and she's really good at hiding.
I mean, it's a fox in the city. Anyone that actually notices her is going to be a little like, huh? But there are other people that have like familiars and that sort of thing in Bastion. It's a large city with many different kinds of people and classes. So, um, it's like you get a bit of strange looks from normal folk, but people are used to it.
As we were walking around, did we see any, like, before we came to the street? Was there like a side street or something that would be closer, that would not be immediately next to the primary attention?
No, because of the way that this area is constructed, right? It's sort of like these fenced-in houses that butt up against one another. There aren't even like alleyways. It's a very like a that comparison I didn't really want to use.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would think let's send Catherine. You can perceive through her kind of what the situation is, and then after we know if this is after we know what our next step is, we can decide how to approach it.
All right, so I need to be at least within 100 feet to be able to see and give her commands and such, but sure we can find.
But her range. This is Aaron asking. She keeps going past 100 feet, right? It's just.
Oh, hey, yes. I mean, she could scout around and then come back and tell me what she saw.
All right.
All right.
Where should we tell Medicina that we're going to meet?
Are we just having her? This is Adrian now. Are we just having her look around first and then deciding?
I think it's best to scout first, and then we can send a message or approach ourselves as necessary. Because if it's already a fight, like, we're gonna have to fight our way in.
Cool. All right, so Captain will find like somewhere that's not obvious that we were heading towards an alley. We'll go with our horses, clippity clop, go somewhere and stop, I imagine. Can we find a place like that, Zach?
I mean, no. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult, but like there aren't really very many hiding places unless you just exit this area of the city and send Catherine from like back in more of like the market style districts and stuff.
We can do that.
Yeah, because like the way that this area is constructed is like, a city planner sat down and was like, how do we make sure that there aren't places for people to do sneaky stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Can't just go into somebody's backyard or.
So if we head back just
you
a wee bit
could,
away from the market.
But that doesn't follow the parameters of trying to do it somewhere where you won't be spotted.
We make our way back a bit to the market and grab like a tea or something at one of the stalls, and then Catherine can nip off and do her thing.
Okay. So you send her with a message and wait for her to come back?
she's gonna scout first. So the command that I give her before she does her thing is to go and scout around and then to come back and relate to me what she's seen. So specifically, I want her to scout around the area around Lady Murder's and maybe get into the house if she can. She can find some way into the house and just see if there are any guards or anything in the house itself. And then after she's done like a bit of like her instructions are if she can't find a way into the house, then just to come back. But she's basically looking for where there are guard patrols and basically it's a trap or not.
She goes to approach the house, and you're far enough away at this point that the connection is a bit tenuous, right? It's not like you're not as fully connected mentally as you are when you're right next to each other within 100 feet. But even so, you start to feel terror go through the link. Lots of like sort of primal animalistic fear. And a couple of minutes later, you find Catherine returns, still in one piece, but with half of an arrow sticking out of her, that it looks like she's broken off the shaft of herself by rolling on the ground.
Oh no, you poor dear, come here. And I will use my healing hands on her and pull the arrow out.
The healing hands is enough. At that point, she is all good, but still very afraid. She's very much like trying to claw her way back to her favorite spot on her shoulder to kind of like curl up.
What? So he's gonna communicate with her telepathically like they can do, and try and figure out what happened or what she saw.
You see the house, and then just like from windows, as she's kind of trying to stay low to the ground in the grass and like sneak her way up to there. You see from windows and from a position on top of the home, there's like 4 or 5 arrows that all fly out at one point. And one of them happens to hit her, and she obviously did not really like that very much at all. And then you just see like grass, which is as she's running away.
All right. So they're not just patrolling the area; they're stationed at the house, so they know what's up. They know somebody's going to try and come for her. So I wonder if she's even still at the house. But
at this point, a guard comes running up to you and says, "Excuse me, is this your fox?"
Well, yes, she is. And Achilles is playing the thing of like he's not really looking towards the man. Is like they can see that he has the thing around. Says, "Yes, she is. I use her for. She helps guide me when we're walking around. Is there a problem there?"
He kind of looks at you, notices a little bit of the glazed overness in the eyes, which you can kind of notice through Catherine, although she's not honestly paying too much attention to sort of anything right now. And this guy says, "Well, make sure to keep her closer to you if she's for making sure that you can see, because she seems to have wandered into places that she shouldn't be going. That horse, that home, is forfeit under the city forfeiture laws by order of High Lord Melina Gerard."
Melina Gerard.
That seems like a good place for us to end this episode.
Okay.
Of course.
Congratulations. This is a perfectly good party. and you made them into murder hobos. Congratulations. You're happy.
Uh,
They
I
have
was
asset
like-
forfeiture in fantasy world. What is happening?
I hurt my fox.
Department
Yeah.
murders of bureaucracy. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna overthrow the government, and that's gonna be our murder for the campaign.
Nubian,
Yeah.
Nubian gets back here, says, and slowly starts grabbing the communist hat.
Grabbing the communist hat. I can't believe. Yeah, you were saying the minute that the minute that
Nubian doesn't
the
like these markets.
no, Ikara doesn't either.
You miss with the tiny animal, or you miss with the tiny child.
That's it. If you did,
Yeah.
off, off with their heads. Off with their heads.
We're like, oh, you need help with like anything? No problem. You looked bad at a fox, we will kill you.
You talk about Ikara's horse. Oh, that's it. You're done. You're done. All right. Yeah, enjoy your death. See you at the crossroads. And not the town in here. Not the town either. So thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for taking your time for watching this stream. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you would like to talk about what has happened here, you can join us here at our Discord. The link is actually just above, but so you can be able to join us there. Again, we have our watch parties. We have regularly My Hero Academia. Next week we'll be watching a Goofy movie. And like I said, we'll be love to talk to you all, talk about things that happened from this session, and we will have the VODs up on YouTube every Wednesday, normally around 1 to 1:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed today's session, and we look forward to see you all again next Saturday for It's Our World episode 8. Take care, everyone.